The P0056 code indicates a malfunction in the heater control circuit of the heated oxygen sensor HO2S Bank 2 Sensor 2. This sensor is located downstream, monitoring the exhaust after it passes through the catalytic converter on the engine bank containing cylinder 1. Its heater ensures the sensor reaches optimal operating temperature quickly for accurate readings and efficient emissions control. A faulty heater leads to delayed sensor activation, potentially increasing emissions and reducing fuel efficiency. Ignoring P0056 can increase fuel consumption by 10 to 15%. Several factors can trigger a P0056 code. The most common is electrical faults, including open or short circuits in wiring, corroded connectors, or a blown fuse. Another cause is a faulty heated oxygen sensor, or HO2S, with heater resistance outside the normal 210 ohm range. Less commonly, ECM issues such as software glitches or internal module failures can also trigger the code. Visual inspection of wiring and connectors is critical, especially in regions with road salt exposure. First, confirm the P0056 code using an OBD2 scanner. Connect the scanner to the vehicle's OBD2 port and read the trouble codes to verify P0056 is present. Next, use a multimeter to check for voltage at the sensor connector. You should see 10 to 14 volts present. Also, test continuity in the heater circuit to ensure the wiring is intact. Then, inspect the HO2S fuse in the underhood fuse box. Look for any signs of damage or a blown fuse that could interrupt the heater circuit. Remember, clearing the code without addressing the root cause will likely result in its recurrence within 50 to 100 miles. Always fix the underlying issue first. The most common fix for P0056 is replacing the heated oxygen sensor itself. This Bank 2 Sensor 2 monitors exhaust oxygen levels to help control emissions and fuel efficiency. Ensure you purchase the correct sensor for your vehicle's specific make and model. Using the wrong sensor can lead to continued problems or improper engine performance. First, disconnect the negative battery terminal to prevent any electrical shorts or damage during the replacement process. You'll need an O2 sensor socket tool, which has a slot to access the sensor through the exhaust system, along with basic automotive tools. Locate the downstream oxygen sensor on Bank 2, usually on the exhaust pipe after the catalytic converter. Carefully disconnect the electrical connector by pressing the tab and pulling it apart. Using the O2 sensor socket on a ratchet, carefully unscrew the old sensor counterclockwise. It may be tight and require some force, but avoid damaging the threads. Apply a small amount of anti-seize compound to the threads of the new sensor to prevent seizing. Screw it in clockwise by hand first, then tighten to the manufacturer's specifications, usually around 30 to 40 feet-pounds. Reconnect the electrical connector to the new sensor, then reconnect the battery terminal. Use an OBD2 scanner to clear the P0056 code from the vehicle's computer. Always verify the fix with a drive cycle test, driving the vehicle through various conditions to ensure the sensor works properly. Oxygen sensors typically cost between $100 and $200, depending on the vehicle. Carefully inspect the wiring harness and connectors leading to the sensor for damage or corrosion. Look for frayed wires, corroded contacts, or loose connections that could cause the P0056 code. Repair any damaged wires with appropriate connectors and heat shrink tubing. Strip the insulation, connect the wires securely, then apply heat shrink tubing to protect the repair and prevent future issues. Clean corroded connectors with electrical contact cleaner. Spray the cleaner directly on the contacts, then wipe away residue to ensure proper electrical conductivity and resolve the P0056 code. If the wiring harness is severely damaged, replacement might be necessary. Consult a professional mechanic for proper installation of a new harness to ensure the P0056 code is fully resolved. While less common than sensor or wiring issues, a faulty engine control module, or ECM, can trigger the P0056 code. The ECM is the vehicle's computer that manages all engine sensors and systems. The ECM coordinates sensor data, and a glitch in its programming can affect the oxygen sensor heater circuit. Check for manufacturer software updates, as these can resolve sensor-related issues through over-the-air updates or dealer programming. However, Be cautious with software updates. They must come from trusted sources to prevent cybersecurity vulnerabilities that could compromise the ECM. If you suspect an ECM problem, always consult a qualified mechanic for proper diagnosis and repair to avoid voiding warranties or causing further issues. Preventive maintenance is key to avoiding P0056 issues. Consider updated oxygen sensors with self-diagnostic capabilities that can alert you before issues arise. Be aware of aftermarket exhaust modifications, which can alter back pressure and sensor readings, potentially triggering the P0056 code. The rise of electric vehicles means this code will become less prevalent, but it will persist in hybrids. Sustainability trends favor recyclable sensor components to conserve precious metals and prevent environmental hazards. By 2035, 50% of repairs are predicted to involve remanufactured parts. One common scenario involves corroded wiring harnesses, especially in cold climates. Always perform a thorough visual inspection. Automotive experts estimate P0056 accounts for 5 to 7% of all OBD2 codes in ICE vehicles. DIY repairs are increasingly popular, with success rates at 85% for basic electrical fixes. Always consult an ASE certified mechanic if you're unsure about any repair steps.